Hey guys, it's Mark from Parkflyers.com. Today we're looking at the Team Losi MINI-B Roller. This is a 1/16 scale buggy, and this is in competition format. Means there's no electronics that come with it, but it does have a lot of upgraded parts throughout. It has aluminum shocks, it has an aluminum bell crank, aluminum servo arm, aluminum pivot block. It has full ball bearings throughout the car. You have a nice lightweight aluminum chassis, and you have the racing tires and wheels on it. Really beautiful car. You do have to paint the body yourself so you can add some of your personal flavor to the car because it comes with a clear body. So this car is a lot more special than a regular Mini-B. The Mini-B standard comes with a brushed motor and all the electronics, a really cheap radio, and a very cheap plastic servo. It does about 15 miles an hour, kind of uninspiring. Now you can upgrade that if you bought one of those. You can upgrade to the Mini-B Roller specifications if you want to just start with something really good. Now this is going to be akin to like a 110 scale competition buggy, like those really expensive ones that cost over $1,000, meaning all set up. This is going to be a lot cheaper to set up, and definitely a really rewarding performance because the car has the same geometry as the competition buggy. It jumps in corners like a regular one, and it handles. It's just amazing. It's hard to explain it in words, but when you see it on the track, when you drive one, you'll know what I mean. When you jump like a car like this, because it's so light and balanced, it's perfectly balanced from the factory. You don't need any in-air manipulation. It never lands. It almost never lands wrong. Really drives great, and it feels like a professional car. And then when you turn it, because it has so much steering, and it never flips over because it's so low to the ground. Very, very good LCG. It just feels like it's on rails, and it really has a high satisfaction level when you drive the car. I absolutely love it. If you look at the shock action, it's extremely smooth on the aluminum shocks. Really nice. It comes off a jump, and it lands plush every time. Never bottoms out because it's so light. For this car, we put in, one of the standout features that we put in, we definitely recommend everybody does this, is the TSM receiver and the TQI radio from Traxxas. The reason being is that the car is so light and it's so agile, you want to have like a gyro in it with TSM. So you have, like when you give throttle off the line or you're running at high speed, the car does not go out of control, and it makes it a lot more stable. Just because it's so tiny and powerful, you definitely want TSM in it. That's something that we highly recommend. A lot of people are using those cheap radios that come with the regular Mini-B or like a really cheap SLT radio. We advise against that. We like the TSM just because, like I said, it makes it a lot more stable and it makes it a lot more drivable. The motor that we put in it is the 6,000 kV. It's the brushless motor from Dynamite. It's got the ESC built into it, which means that it takes up less space on the chassis. You do not need to go fancy with a separate ESC. There's no need for it. It's going to add weight and complexity to it. When you put this motor in, it's just one and done. You put it in the chassis, it's clean, neat, and light. So it's really good, and we highly recommend that. This particular car that we're running now has an 18-tooth pinion. We ordered Robinson Racing 19-tooth pinion just to see if we can get a little bit more performance out of this thing. That's coming in the mail. We'll probably do an update to this video, maybe a part 2. And we'll let you know what one tooth did for us. We think it's going to make it a little bit sweeter on the top end. Right now, we're probably getting about, I would say, 35 to 37 miles an hour standard. Really runs nice. And the cool thing about this car, even though 37 doesn't sound fast, when you have a car this tiny and this light, when you're driving it, it gives the impression that the car is hauling ass because it's so small and light. So you don't really need to go faster than that. It has a lot of satisfaction when you drive it. We're going to post some videos following this little review, so stay tuned for that at the end of this video. And we'll try to see if we can capture the essence of how fast it actually looks when it's going by. For the battery, we went with the Reaction 2 from Dynamite, 20C, 650 milliamp 2S battery. There is nothing wrong with this battery. It drives great. Performance is adequate for this motor, and you don't need a higher C rating for the amount of power you're pulling out of the battery. So really nice battery. It fits perfect. It's held down by a double-banded rubber strap in the center of the chassis, and the chassis was actually designed for that battery, so I highly recommend getting that battery. The servo that we use is an SX107 Micro. Now, the good thing about this servo is the transit time is really quick. It's got a lot of torque, and it has a metal gear. That is definitely the Achilles heel of the stock Mini-B. You have that plastic steering servo. Every customer breaks it. For 16 bucks, No matter what Mini-B you have, you got to put this one in there. It's adequate. You don't need to go crazy with a Savox. Don't waste your money. This is perfect. It fits in there, and it's basically molded to go in there perfectly. Do not buy anything else. It also comes with a servo extension with the servo, so it's another added feature. You don't have to go buy one. And I highly recommend this. At $15.99, it's a no-brainer. And then to top off, what you need is going to be the charging adapter, because nobody really has EC2 charging adapters. So you get the EC3 that goes right into your Spectrum charger to the EC2, this little tiny connector, and then you basically have a little adapter for your battery, which is really nice. Right, so if you look at the chassis, everything's tightly fit. You see your battery is put in with a rubber strap. Your motor and ESC fit in really nice. And then your SX107 servo goes in the front. Really nice room around the servos. There's no binding, no problems. And then your TQI receiver is going to go right smack in the middle of the car. And you definitely want to make sure that you use a good 3M tape. You want that solidly on the chassis. Otherwise, you're going to get jitteriness with your gyro when you're driving. So don't use Velcro. And don't use like a weak foam tape like a Chinese type. Use a 3M branded or something really strong so that the receiver is planted. Otherwise, you're going to have problems with your TSM and your performance. Again, this, if you look at the shock action, because of their aluminum shocks, it has such a smooth action, just like a real 10 scale buggy. And when you drive the car, you notice it right away that the car drives like a professional, like a competition buggy. And I'll tell you what, for the price that this cost and the amount of money, it's really worth it. For the performance that you're getting, the fun factor is super, super high, and I absolutely love it. This was put together for a customer named Ronnie. He's a really good customer of ours. We did the yellow and red theme for him. We did a little bit of translucent yellow on the tips of the wings and then red in the center. Same thing with the body. Really came out nice, matches the wheels, the yellow wheels. And this is something that is really special. The Mini-B Roller at $139.99 is a great deal. And it's all about fun factor in this hobby. You don't have to spend a lot of money to have fun. If you don't want to spend, let's say $1,200, $1,300 setting up a competition buggy, you'll get 95% of the satisfaction as you do with a 110 scale. And like I said, it jumps like the big boys. It handles like the big boys. It corners amazing. And the overall satisfaction is great. We are definitely thinking about making a track in the back of our warehouse. If we do, we're definitely going to have a Mini-B class. And it's going to be huge because it doesn't break the bank. And most people can afford to do this. So look how beautiful this car is. It's just great. Lightweight, balanced. And like I said, very easy to work on. The parts are super, super cheap. They make a lot more upgraded parts than that come on this car. One of them that we're going to be putting on later down the road is the machine aluminum motor, the motor mount. It has extra heat sink and extra material, so it definitely cools the motor down a little bit more, and it's something you definitely should look into and want. What else? You can play it with your shock oil weights and see what you get out of that, but I don't think you're going to need any to vary from the standard. I think it's 20 weight oil. You can try to maybe use a 30 weight in the front, see what it does to the handling, play with it. But overall, the car just drives great. Now, companies like Proline and J Concepts make upgraded wheels and tires for this car. They also make lightweight bodies. The body, you would think in a competition, a body, what's the big deal? A couple ounces here, a couple of grams there. A lightweight body on this, if you're competing, is going to make a big difference. I've seen guys, when they told me they put the lightweight body on, they went from driving, let's say getting second, third, or fourth, they actually finished first and second. So it definitely improved their times. Lightweight body is definitely something you want to look into. You could also, if you want to really compete, get the lightweight body and then maybe use the stock wing and put some holes in it to make it lightweight. But anyway, this car is definitely, the Roller is ready to compete out of the box. You just have to add your electronics like you see fit. But anyway, this is a fantastic product. Please, guys, share the video, comments below. And if you have any questions or want to buy one, call Mark at the Hobby Shop, 1-800-470-8932. Again, we're going to show some running footage at the end of this, and just to show you how fast this thing looks and how nice it handles. All right, guys, have a great day, and we'll see you on the next video.
good enough. They're fine. Okay, that's good.
I'm going to take off from like right in front of him. Put the camera right.